Welcome everybody to another episode with Richie Naso, where today we're going to talk about how to handle losing streaks and grow your account as well. Richie, I assume you enjoyed the way the Knicks are playing thus far before we get diving in here.
Oh my God, I'm a crazy Knicks fan for a very long time. So the answer is a resounding yes. I mean, I tell you, the way they're playing is just pretty impressive. It really is across the board. So I'm excited beyond.
Gonna go and put the disclaimer up here real quick. Again, today's where everyone goes through losing streaks. I don't know if you remember, Richie, what your longest losing streak was, whether it was in terms of days or whether it was in terms of trades or otherwise. But do you remember what your longest stretch of bad trades were, or losing streaks rather? Maybe not the trade was bad, but you get the point.
Things usually happen in threes. Okay. So what's a losing streak to me? 2 to 3 days in a row. That's a losing streak. What do I do when I see that? I cut back. I make sure I'm not getting emotional when I trade. I make sure I'm not trying to make up the loss quickly. It is not the way to do it. You need to keep building small blocks when your back is against the wall and you're coming out of a losing streak. If your team is down by 10 runs in the second inning, you're not trying to score 10 runs in the next inning. You just want to chip away. That's the quote. Chip away. While here, get a couple of pluses on the tick, on the tape, and then of course you have to cut back your size. That's 100% for sure. You need to cut back your size during losing streaks for sure.
When it comes down to the first thing is there kind of you mentioned the checklist, or you mentioned cutting down as well. Are there other things that you do? Let's just say the losing streak is within a day. Let's focus on the day, right? So we come in on a Monday, it's May 1st. We've lost 2 or 3 in a row. Outside of scaling down the size, are there other things that you suggest individuals to do, such as maybe take a walk or just stop trading after you've lost X amount, right? What else can people do to not get emotional?
Yeah, break the momentum, break the routine. That is an absolute very good suggestion. It's something I do. I'll walk outside. My office is in my basement, which is new, and I walk outside. I'll take a walk. I'll listen to the woodpeckers. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll take a walk, or I'll go have another cup of coffee somewhere. I'll just walk away. Sometimes you just need to walk away, and that is a really good suggestion. It stops the pain, and you're able to regroup freer instead of, because when you're pressing, and if you stay in front of that machine, you're going to almost create a situation where you see a trade. Oh, here it is. Well, most times it's not here it is when you're on a losing streak. You got to be very careful. You need to protect your capital.
There's a difference between a losing streak that's caused by bad execution versus a losing streak that is caused by a strategy that is still profitable. It's plus EV, but in the short term, you're going through variance.
Right.
How do you deal with the emotional aspect of, is this strategy still profitable, or do I need to change it up? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? How do you kind of avoid yourself going down that rabbit hole?
You touched on the execution, okay? So the execution, I don't too often take the offers, okay? I feel like my process, if it's in place, I should be able to buy it on a bid while the enemy or the sellers are making emotional mistakes. I don't reach across the market, fear of missing the market. I miss the market, I don't care. I don't reach. The only time I reach is adding to winners above my price. That's the only time. Why is that? Well, because the market is showing you that there are more buyers coming in and that your position is substantiated. So it's not a bad thing to add on strength. Don't think it's a bad thing. It's a good thing to add on strength, but only when you're convinced that your methodology and your trade, the reason why you're in your trade, whatever side it's on, it doesn't really matter. But once the market lets you know, all right, that it's the right place to be in, whatever it is it technical, going through a technical area, going through that, whatever it is, don't be afraid to add on strength. Don't be afraid to add on strength up or down. It's a winning strategy, but you need to be able to get to the point where your reflexes let you know that. Muscle memory. I go on my computer and sign in. Am I familiar with the whatever code I use? Of course, I use it my whole life. Do I even think about it? No, it's muscle memory. It's muscle memory. I don't know if I'm pressing RN, I don't even think about it. It's muscle memory. Muscle memory is about reacting, is about trusting your gut. I say it over and over and over again. Okay, how do you do that? Thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of trades. Put yourself in situations where you have to react. Cover all the bases, and the way you do that is simply when you continue to trade. Now, I'm not saying that you're vanguard, but what I am saying, it's all relative. So don't be afraid to go on a simp account to practice these trades and these methodologies, and try to keep it real. We know simp account, we know blah blah blah, but there's the more experience you have, the better off you are using simp trades to practice your methodology. Very important.
And TradeZero has a paper trading account as well if folks want to get a little involved and try to test a couple of things out. Something else that you mentioned when you said muscle memory, it reminded me of basketball players at the free throw line. Obviously, all types of shooting for them is kind of muscle memory as well, but the free throws is the most important for them because they'll shoot 100, 200, 300 free throws in a day just so when they're at the line, they're not thinking, okay, aim here, this much strength, it's just knock down, get it back.
That's right. That's exactly right. And very important. I mean, free throws dictate point spreads. So free throws dictate winning or losing. And so your muscle memory on these trades are very important to let your body, let your mind take over without putting too much thought, like overthinking a trade. We all have those voices in our head. Oh no, that's not the right trade. Oh no, don't get out. Oh no, it's going to go up in my face when I get out. I forget about all of that. Forget about it. Make your trade, have a reason for your trade, have a horizon for where you think your trade is going to go, and then take your profit and put it in the bank.
I had some trades overnight where it didn't hit I got stopped out, but then the other place where I would have placed a trade, it went ahead and hit that, and it worked out perfectly. And then it's just like, oh my God, you wake up and it's just a negative aspect of it. I know the next question I'm going to ask, there is no scientific answer. So I'd love to get what you do. And the question is, when you personally are trading, do you stop trading for the day after you lose a certain dollar amount or after you lose a certain amount of trades? Like, how do you say, okay, you know what? Today is not the day for me. I am done.
Once again, I can't tell you enough and say it enough, and I'm sorry to be repetitive, but practice putting yourself in situations. Most of us have to use a simp account, but even the most smartest traders use simp account to replicate the situations you're going to be in. All right. Sometimes my gut will tell me walk away. I don't like the market makeup. I don't like what I'm seeing. There's no consistency to the movements. Stuff like that all filters in, and then you spit out a decision. And yes, walk away. Absolutely walk away. Do I have a rule of walking away? No, I do not. Sometimes I know the last trade I was off a little bit. I make a mental adjustment as to why. I see why. I took a loss, and I don't mind taking a loss, by the way. I took a loss, but it depends on how quickly I recover mentally from why I lost it. Why did I lose in that trade? Did I get in too late? Did I blah, blah, blah? So very important to evaluate that after the fact.
Yeah.
And then make a decision.
I know you currently what do you call it, journal your trades, right? With all the experience, and you talked about trusting your gut and building that capacity in itself as well. How beneficial can journaling be for individuals that are trading in general, in a losing streak, and looking to grow their account as well?
You know, listen, that's a really good question. Okay. You should be journaling. I did not journal my whole life. I journaled years ago. Okay. But I could tell you that, at the point where I'm at, I remember these trades. I know when I make mistakes. You have to know your personality. When you know your personality, you're going to know the tendency you have to make mistakes. All right. It's really that simple. I don't want to embellish that at all, but take me at my word or what I'm saying. It just, you just have to trust your instincts when your experience level has reached the point where you have put in the time and energy, to beat this market. I mean, most traders, I wrote this down last night. Most traders fail not because they can't trade, okay, but because they don't manage the size properly.
Yeah.
So they don't lose money because they can't trade.
You have people that I've read this quote somewhere where it's like, I could give you proven, scientific, back-tested, profitable trading strategies, tell you how to do it, entry, stop loss, profit targets, but people will still find a way to lose it because they will try to martingale, they'll try to add their own little twisted turns. Their girlfriend broke up with them, so now they doubled down initially, and then they just end up making a mess themselves. And I've found that to be true myself as well, right? If I lose 2 or 3 in a row, I convince myself, I'm like, oh, you know what? This next trade, it's right near VWAP. It's right where Richie's level is. There's no way. The confluences are there. I'm going double the size. Next thing you know, I'm down 100% more than I was last time because one whole trade to get there.
Yeah.
And now I'm, completely screwed sideways as well. Boris, I got your feedback here. I would definitely recommend, Boris is talking about journaling and on paper trading and things like that. Some people have also said that you go from sim trading to then maybe trading 2 shares, like actual live accounts, 2 shares, 5 shares, just so you can have some type of emotional investment into your strategies. So it's like, hey, my goal is to get to trading 50 shares. Let's just say my goal is to risk $50 per trade. Sometimes people would advise individuals, hey, go ahead and risk, $10 per trade, just so you're emotionally invested in the trade itself. Do you agree with that advice, or would you rather not stick with that?
There is no scientific way to do this, folks. This is not an easy game. I say it over and over again. I could say it at this stage. This is not an easy game. And when you're trading as actively as I trade, I'm telling you, this is not an easy game. I come across situations that I haven't encountered with my experience level. And I would say that on the surface, that's just about impossible, quite frankly. But it isn't impossible. So you are going to be up against it a lot of times. And guess what? Okay, I have a 7-year-old. She's 7 years old today, by the way, one of my granddaughters. Okay, she's a tremendous athlete. My daughter was 508 in the world in tennis, and she was out of control. I have 3 Division I athletes. Okay, so this kid is 7 years old. She's a natural. She could do it all. Her problem is and she's like perfect. Her problem is that if she makes a mistake, she's in playing golf with her father the other day at a country club, and she didn't miss the shot, and she cried. And I see this over and over again. So what do I tell her? I tell her what I'm going to tell all you folks, maybe the most important thing you could ever learn, okay? And that is you learn more. Her name is Stella. I said, Stella, I want you to look at me in the face, and I want you to listen to me very carefully. You learn more when you make mistakes. So there's always a positive out of something that is wrong, that you lose money on. There's always something positive. Don't look at it like, oh, I just lost $150 and it's all over and blah, blah, blah. You got to focus and take out of that as to why you lost that money. And you can't get emotional on it.
I saw something on Jane Street, which is a high frequency trading prop firm,
Yep.
about how it was a documentary on them. So it wasn't necessarily someone from their representation, but they mentioned how they don't mind losing trades and the losing days or whatever they may have, because they learn more from the losses than they do sometimes from the wins as well. So it's incredible that you said that the day after I heard it.
100%. I mean, there's no doubt about it. None.
Yeah.
And I don't care how much the loss is. I don't care how painful it is. Doesn't matter. If you want to beat this game and build up the blocks to get to a level, you got to be able to look at your losses and figure out why. Did I chase it? Did I chase it because? And then you wind up overpaying. That's why I don't take the offers unless it's on strength that I'm adding. I will stay back because if my trade idea is right, they are going to come to me. Why is that? Again, because I will be ahead of the curve, not behind it. When you chase, you're behind the curve. You are adding to the profits of the people who are bought where you're supposed to be buying. Make sense, folks?
I've found whenever I've dissected my trades that a lot of the trades that I lose is because my entry was awful. And it kind of goes back to what you were saying in terms of chasing, right? So if I know my entry was to short at $100 for a variety of reasons, it was my strategy. I want to short 100. I'm seeing the market have that stock at 99.70, 99.80. I get scared, personally me, that I'm like, oh my God,
Right.
I may never get this short because the market may never go to 100 and I'll miss out on this beautiful trade setup. So what do? I enter at 99.80. Now, if I have 100 shares, that's $20. And if my stop loss is going to be 100, that is 20% of my initial stop loss. And I just said, hey, market, here you go. Have fun with it, please. So it's that psychological aspect of fear of missing out, fear of missing a trade, and whatever else it might be. And then we just kind of get in our own harm's way. So that's something that I found about me personally through journaling. Are there any? Yeah, go ahead.
Very important. I mean, that is extremely important. Let me give you just another example also
Yeah.
About the execution, okay? And what we're talking about. So if I'm long, and I'm not long one or two contracts, if I'm long, it depends. I have no set amount. My unit of play is 5 or 10. That's it. And I'm adding whatever. But whether it's an equity, whatever you're trading, folks. All right. But if I'm filtering out and my position is right, and I'm filtering it out and laying on a way up, the tendency is, oh man, this is wonderful. This is euphoric. It's going up and I keep filtering it in.
Yeah.
Okay. With the idea that they're going to come and take my offer. Okay. I don't want to take an offer. I don't want to hit bids. Unless this. If I'm coming near the end of my position, I'm long 20, let's just say, and I'm long 2,000 and I'm out on 1,500 and I'm banking money. Okay, then I filter one off. All of a sudden, getting a little toppy here, la 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 la. I don't give that profit back under any way, shape, or form. Then I'll hit the bid, close out the position, and on to the next trade. So don't let that profit run away from you if you're right. Don't hold out the last if you're long 2,000 or 1,000 or 100 or whatever it is. Don't let the last 200 or 300 of that position ruin your freaking trade. Hit the bid, get out, get your mind clear, and refocus on what's next. What's the next trade? How am I going to place my next bet? That's it. Don't, because what happens here? Okay, people underestimate the amount of energy that thinking takes. They underestimate that. So if you're out here and your mind is going and you're having a grand old time and you have a couple 100, 300 shares left, whatever it is, I don't know. Whatever you have it left, getting a little toppy. Once again, hit the bid. Why? If you don't hit the bid, all of a sudden you're making a swing trade out of this when you had a profit. So you got 200 or 300. You already banked $350. You got 200 shares left, and you're squeezing out. The greed is taking over, and you want to squeeze out another 20 cents in this thing. All of a sudden, it starts to go south. All of a sudden, so if you don't hit that bid or hit that close button, you're going to be in a situation where you start giving back that $350, $50, $20, whatever it is. Or you're in a position where you're going to add again to that. It's just, you don't want it as a day trader, folks.
I agree completely. It's been scenarios where, going back to 100 shares example, where if I know this time my profit target is 100 and the stock is at 99.80 and I'm up $80 because my entry was at 99, if it feels toppy, like you said, I see some resistance, whatever, now I'm risking $80 just to win an additional 20. Correct. Right? That difference of 99.80 and 100, assuming 100 shares. So again, it goes back to trading is very difficult because it is a art and not just a science in terms of back testing, but also the main important thing is the psychological and emotional state of mind that we are in. I mean, you've made, I'm going to assume, millions of dollars in the market, and you still have a white piece of paper there that says, I think it says more patience. So, it kind of goes to show that no matter what level of trading you're at, it's a mental game, period.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And the mathematics of the market stretch your mentality in every way, shape, or form by making you gamble. Making you gamble. Remember, that's really important. It's a simple statement. You want to poo-poo it, you can go ahead. But making you gamble means something. It means something, and it's significant. The market makes you can't gamble. If you understand that the market makes you gamble, you will have a tendency not to second guess yourself so much. And the voices in your head start, forget it.
Yeah. Well, Richie, this has been great, but I do want to leave it up to you if you have any final thoughts on this topic of losing streaks and how to handle them, and also how to grow your account. The floor is all yours.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing for me is really losing streaks. We touched on it earlier in this conversation. And the main thing to me is to, don't try to make up the money quickly. You are going to create a scene for yourself because, it's incredible. These are patterns. These are mind patterns that take place here, folks. This has nothing to do with being a student of the game. These are, once you get into a situation where you're emotional about it, the mentality takes over. So, do not look to make back your money quickly. Do not do that. Make it back gradually, a little bit at a time. And it's not easy to do that. You want to make the money back. Your bank account just took a hit. Your account took a hit. You want to make it back quickly. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Everything you've said today, I personally could not agree more. But just in case, we got to throw this up as well. Disclaimer again, these are my opinions. These are Richie's opinions. We always encourage you to do your own research in terms of execution and anything else that we may have spoken about here today. Richie, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you, Sunil. Thank you, folks. Have a great day. Thank you very much.